What is up? Hello, welcome back to Babblings. I know you guys are thinking, Allie, you told us in the last Babblings that you're only going to be doing one big podcast a month with a dedicated topic so that you can focus on it and research it. And you're right. Guess what? This is a bonus episode. I have been planning to do, if you don't know, I have a blog. It's currently hosted on Substack, babblings.substack.com, but we're going to get into some things about that later. But one of the things that I do is called the Babblings Report. It's more of like a traditional newsletter with like many like articles kind of or like recommendations and whatever. And I decided that I wanted to do Babblings at the beginning of the month instead of the end of the month. And so that's why there wasn't one in October. And then when I went to outline November's report, I was like, I have a lot to say and I have some updates specifically about Babblings and like the future and where we're going. And I feel like I would rather talk to you guys, do a podcast Babblings report instead of doing like the actual newsletter. So you can listen to this on all the podcast platforms. You can watch it either on YouTube or Substack. I don't know yet how I'm going to want to do this, but you can watch it somewhere if you're someone that likes audio podcast. What is this with my hair right now? Bizarre. Look how curly my hair is. We're just gonna kind of like check in life updates, what I'm doing to get ready for winter, and then like what is going on with Substack. Well, with Babblings, because we're leaving Substack, you guys. We'll get into it, but Substack is dead. And the website is almost and then at the end, I did shuffle and kind of meditate on some cards. So I will do a little tarot card reading at the end. We'll see what comes out. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, make sure to stay till the end. Everything is time stamped below. Everything is time stamped below so that you can skip through or whatever, or just know what you're in for. I'm going to strive to keep this babblings under 30 minutes, crossing my fingers. I think I can do it. And yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for joining me. In the last podcast episode and even the last live from the end times, I've been talking a lot just about like finances kind of lately, or things that revolve around finances, personal finances, world economics, blah, 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 blah. And as someone who is extremely stripped down right now, like my life is so stripped down. I'm someone that, I feel like since I really started like working and had regular paychecks in my 20s, I've just been like in this cycle of like get money, lose money, get money, lose money. And not that that's necessarily like a bad thing, because I think money come, money goes, and I don't have any like, I know like what I spend, I'm gonna get back, and I just money appears to me, and that's just how like I've always been able to do whatever I wanted to do, which like I'm very grateful for. But I think part of that is because I'm not attached to money. I've never like really counted my pennies. I've never been like, you need to Venmo me $5 for the ice cream sundae that we split last week. Like it comes, it goes. I'll pay everybody's check if I have to, and it can overdraw my account, and I don't care. I will still pay for everybody's dinner. That's how I've always been, very generous. And I feel like that generosity is always coming back to me in different ways. But because of that, I haven't been very observant with my finances. And it's especially the last 6 months when I like quit my job, I was starting to get really anxious because it was like I couldn't hold on to money. I just felt like anytime I got money, boom, it was gone, and I didn't even spend it. I didn't even mean to. I had plans to spend money on something, and then all of a sudden this like 200 charge would be on my account, and I'd be like, oh my God, like where did that even come from? Or like all of this different stuff. But a big part of that was subscriptions. And I feel like my whole 20s, I have just been throwing money at subscriptions, and it's not something that's ever really bothered me, and it's something that like I've always been able to do, right? Money come, money go, like whatever. I want my subscriptions, I want my things, but even for subscriptions like that I don't even need anymore. Like I had a boutique in my early 20s and I had a Shopify, and the boutique has been closed. It closed 2020. So it's been closed for 5 years now. And I've still been paying $7 a month to Shopify since then. And I'm currently in the process of like trying to get it figured out. It's kind of exhausting working with Shopify to get in and like, and like part of it is because I'm logged out of my account and I thought that I canceled it. It's this whole thing. But I've been paying all of that fucking money. And because of this kind of like halt in like cash flow coming in, or not really necessarily like a halt, but just needing to be very specific about what's coming into my account. And I got very like, I need to know where this is going. I need to know when I open my bank account that there's still $300 in it. Cause it's like, I can like eat home every single day. I can make my coffee every single morning. I haven't like shopped in months. I haven't spent like since I quit my job in June, I have just not been flippantly spending, but it was like I still couldn't hold on to money and it was exhausting, but it was because of all of these subscriptions. So it took me a while, but I finally have gotten down to like where I have 0 subscriptions. I did just pay for Peacock because I was being really impatient because the new episode of Salt Lake City wasn't up on my secret websites yet. That's the thing, like you don't need subscription. I'm gonna get into it. It wasn't up on my secret website yet, and I was being impatient because I knew it was gonna be a really good episode. So I did pay for Peacock this month, but like I canceled it right away. And I feel like I don't have any music subscriptions. I have no entertainment subscriptions, no like financial, because I used to do like, you know, like Acorn or like stuff like that. Like I have nothing except Shopify, which we are still in the process of working with. I'm verifying my identity. It's a whole thing. But being so stripped down, it's so crazy. Like I've never been able to in my life go a week, like have $300, go a week and look at my bank account and I still have $300. Like because I didn't make any purchases. Like that is crazy to me, but it's so freeing and I feel so in control. No surprise subscriptions, no surprise like annual subscriptions that I made. Everything is canceled and I truly feel free from the grips of capitalism because I'm not surprised. And I'm sure people are like, yeah, Ali, that's what being financially responsible is all about. But as someone who just has never taken money that seriously, like, okay, whatever, spend it, like it's going to come back in some which way or form. Also, because the quality of my life has never really drastically changed. Based on finances either, you know, like I've never been rich enough to like my life completely change, and I've never been like broke enough where like I couldn't order DoorDash if I wanted to, or like figure out a way to get DoorDash, you know? And so it just feels so empowering knowing where my money is going, and then also DoorDashing right now as my little money gig. I was thinking about this. I feel like, you know, you can tell when someone's never worked a service job. You know, I say this all the time. You've never worked a service job and it fucking shows and it's embarrassing. You know, people that don't tip well, people that aren't kind to service workers, people that you go into a space and you can tell because they're so like obnoxious and have no boundaries or like responsibility for themselves in a public area. Yeah, because you've never had to clean up after someone like you before, right? It's like there's that level of like, yeah, you've never worked a service job, but then I feel like I can also tell when I'm like, okay, you've never worked for like minimum wage before. You know, you've never like watched $5 turn into $10, turn into $15, especially DoorDashing right now. Most of that money is tips. DoorDash pays shit, and I make money off of tips just like if I was working in a restaurant or hospitality. When you are not used to like receiving money in small increments like that, to watch it build up to larger increments and then spend it and then like build up again, when you're just used to getting like a salary, like a couple $1,000s every 2 weeks. I feel like it really distances you from like the worth of a dollar or like $5 and how far that can go, how far, if you're resourceful enough, you can stretch $5. I mean, I was in college like pulling coins out of cushions to pay for my Taco Bell. And I did the same thing in high school. Like, I know how to scrounge up money and I've never been afraid to pay in all quarters. What are you going to do? I have $5 in quarters. You're not going to take it. You're going to take it, which also I'm very sad about pennies being discontinued. And I think that also, that distance from like the worth of money also distances people from what it takes or the work people are doing to just make $5. It seems so minuscule when you're getting like large lump sums and whatever. You're like, yeah, $5 this, $5 that. But when you're working for that $5, the way that you spend it, I feel is very different. And all of this to say is just that this being back in sort of a service industry kind of like tip based job, getting rid of all of my subscriptions, having a life that is very stripped down, like financially and also materially stripped down, I feel very empowered. And being so stripped down, I feel has also really cleared my mind. One, I have to work a little harder to watch and listen to the things that I want to. And I feel in this day and age of everything being instantaneous, like it feels kind of good to have to watch an ad before your YouTube video. Now, if I could have a subscription, it would be YouTube Premium. I miss YouTube Premium like hell. But it kind of feels good to have to watch an ad before a YouTube video or in the middle. Or if I want to watch a show, I have to go on like my special websites and I have to like dig around and I have to do all of the links and I have to X out of the things. Like I've been pirating since 2012. Okay. Like this is not new to me. And it feels good to be back in my bag. It feels good to have to put some freaking elbow grease into getting the things that I want. Next up on my list is getting either a used MP3 player or a used iPad, because you best believe YouTube's MP3. She's back as well. And I'm gonna have to put some time and energy to like make all of my playlists and like download them and whatever, but I'm kind of excited about it. And I feel free. I don't feel reliant on these like corporations to entertain me. And now, obviously, right, like I'm still engaging in things and I'm still watching things, but there's something about doing it for free. There's something about doing it for free that cannot be beat. There's something about doing it outside of the system that feels so good. And if to say Peacock and Bravo and NBC and HBO and Netflix and whatever were to all stop making movies and TV shows, if the movie theaters shut down, God forbid, tomorrow, the DVD collection that I've already been building, mwah, like I just feel like if it all goes away, I will still be okay. Right now, where there's so much going on, people are not feeling secure at all in their jobs, not secure financially. Food is not secure. We're so reliant on these systems for everything, and seeing them change so drastically or potentially change or be so far from what we're used to, I think that just subconsciously puts a lot of people in peril. And I'm here to tell you, remove yourself out of it and you realize that you are not relying on all of that. You can live a beautiful and happy life without all of the subscriptions in the world, without Apple Music and without Spotify. Yes, it's annoying. Yes, it's a lot of work. But like the freedom of not being chained financially to a corporation is some like free your mind, free yourself shit. I'm not even joking. So if there's anything that I can ask of you guys as we get into winter, it would be like And I know it's a lot of work because it took me months to cancel all of my subscriptions. Like, and then something would pop up and I'd be like, oh my God, I forgot that I always said I would pay for that too. And I'm like, oh my God, I said, like, constantly, constantly, constantly. But I want to implore you to do the work, look through your subscriptions, look at what you're paying, and dial it back. I'm not saying you have to get rid of everything, right? I am like financially, like, I'm doing that really for, like, for financial reasons for the most part. And I've also like found this other positive to it. So I'm not saying that like you have to right away get rid of everything, but taking stock of what you're paying, cancel those subscriptions that you see every month and you're like, oh my God, I don't even use that. Like, why am I still paying that? But you just like ignore it. Been there. Cancel the subscription. Take stock. Like, do you know when your bills are auto paid? If you have $100 today, and you go into your bank account tomorrow, will you still have $100? Right? Like, where can you be spending less? Where could you be moving money to save it more? Because I've got some hard news for everybody. But shit is getting real and it's only going to get realer and it's only going to get harder. And those of us that are not prepared to strip down financially and strip down our materialisticness, and I don't even, was that even like words that made sense together? Those of us not prepared to strip down how we eat and just eat what's available. Like, I'm a very picky eater. In the last few months, like, it's been kind of like, this is what people are making, so this is what you have to eat. You know, it's like, if you can't sit in a car with someone without putting your own headphones in, like, that's a problem. That's something that will always piss me off. Because why can't you sit in a car, especially if it's not a road trip, right? Why can't you sit in a car for max an hour and listen to whatever the person that's driving put on the radio? Like, why can't you do that? You know, like, we are so accustomed to everything being so personalized to what we want. We have it instantaneously. We can disassociate into our own little perfect bubbles. But I truly think what is going to get us through is getting used to and being prepared to be uncomfortable and not always having exactly what you want, exactly when you want it, and in the way that you want it to be received. So, yeah, I'm also big task. Speaking of wintering, one of the big things I'm working on is sitting down, watching a movie, and not picking up my phone. I know that might sound dumb. And that first, like, but I can't do that anymore. Like, it's so, my attention span has gotten so bad that I can't sit down and watch a 2-hour movie without picking up my phone and scrolling TikTok, scrolling Instagram, playing my car game. Like, I can't do it. And it's kind of embarrassing. Like, I used to like watch movies all day long, 24-hour marathon. I would just watch movie after movie after movie after movie after movie, never pick up my phone. Like, I wouldn't even fucking eat. I just would sit and watch movies. And as someone who loves and enjoys movies, like, it takes away from that practice of like sitting down and like immersing yourself in something and like enjoying it, you know, and seeing all of like the little details. Like, you miss so much when you pick up your phone, you take yourself out of it. We're missing so much and we don't even realize it just on a day-to-day scale. But I feel like that like minuscule example of not being able to watch a movie and like not hearing every single word of dialogue and not seeing every single like specific cut that the director wanted you to see to that's important for the storytelling, you know, like, we're missing so much trying to just fill our brains with more and more and more and more and more and more and quick. So as I'm wintering this winter, I'm going to be really working on watching shows, not picking up my phone, and like giving something my undivided attention for an hour to 3. You know, like, that shouldn't be hard, and yet it is. And that's a problem. Third thing that I'm really wanting to do this winter in order to winter and get into myself is to get back into Sudoku and actual Sudoku books, like doing it handwritten and not doing it on my phone, not playing games on my phone, doing puzzles. Also, like, actual puzzles I want to do this winter too. Sudoku is so much fun. Word crosses are so much fun. And using that time to, again, focus my attention on something for as long as it takes to complete it. You know, 15 minutes to 30 minutes, depending on how hard the Sudoku is. really focusing my attention, and it's such a brain teaser, it's such a brain exercise, like, and that feels so good to me to be able to flex those brain muscles. And whenever we do something in a different way, like anytime we take a different path to work, anytime we, cook something that we haven't cooked before, anytime we do something different and out of our mundane autopilot lives, we create new pathways in our brains, which just like makes us smarter and more capable. And I think that's also important. Like, being able to entertain yourself without a screen is hard. I'm not saying this in like a like I've got it all figured out way. Like, these are things that I'm working on that I want to encourage you to work on too. So yeah, I guess just like as I'm getting ready to winter and slow down, and I should have talked about this at the beginning, but I really try to like live with the seasons, and winter is a time to slow down. It's a time to go into yourself. It's a time to go into a bit of a hermit mode. Not saying like don't talk to anybody, don't go out or anything, but I think it's okay to do things less. I think it's okay to have more weekends where you don't have any plans and you can focus on yourself, and you can focus on your habits, and you can focus on what seeds you want to plant in the spring. When the seasonal depression hits on top of the just normal depression, it is not a great time. But I think something that has helped me work through that is being okay with not having as much energy during the winter, being okay with having less social things to do, and kind of making that more intentional. Because I think a lot of times we feel like we're missing out, or we should be doing the same things that we should be doing in summer, or you get to January and it's the new year and you got to go hard and you got to go fast and you got to put all these goals down. And our environment is telling us to do exactly the opposite. Our environment is telling us to continue hibernating, right? I don't celebrate the new year until Aries season in April and March. Like, that is the new year for me, when things start to come back to life and there's this new wave of energy. Don't feel like you have to be the same person and doing the same things all year round. Like, the animals don't, like, I nature is not the same all year round. And if we can take our cues from nature in this winter and reflect and go into ourselves, I feel like a lot of us are very privileged to be able to not suffer as much as many of the people will be suffering this winter, to be able to extend a hand to save some money on your own personal groceries so that you can donate to a food bank, or so that you can help your neighbors buy groceries. Saving your time and energy this winter, focusing on yourself instead of trying to create, this like consumerist holiday cheer. Reanalyzing what all of this time of year really means to you, and focusing on you and becoming a stronger you physically and mentally. I think, that's my goal this winter. And not that you have to do exactly what I'm doing, but just some inspiration for you, and to figure out what are your goals for wintering this year. Comment below. I'd be interested to know what you're planning to do for winter. And let's see, when is the winter solstice? The winter solstice is around the 21st. It's the 21st in the northern hemisphere. And so also this depends on if you live in the northern or southern hemisphere, because if you're in the southern hemisphere, you're about to go into summer, versus us in the northern hemisphere, we're going into winter. Take this time in November and, the beginnings of December to kind of decide and mentally prepare yourself to kind of hunker down. And I think also this winter would be a really good time to start stripping down and taking your money away from these corporations, analyzing where your money is going. A time to really test how you can be not reliant on these like forms of instantaneous entertainment. How can you create that entertainment for yourself? Because that's easy to do in the summer. when you can go outside and you can go swimming and you can go to the beach and you can hang out with your friends and you can barbecue. Like, it's easy to do in the summer, but doing it in the winter where you're mostly inside and with yourself, are you going to be doom scrolling all winter? Winter? Are you going to be doom scrolling all winter, or are you going to be sharpening your brain? That's my question for you. Okay, on to more exciting things, and then we will do the tarot reading, and then I'm out of here. But basically, a lot is going to be happening at Babblings. November is the last month that I will be on Substack. Oh, what? I've talked about this a lot, right? Like, I'm building a website, and I'm a big believer in, owning your own things, and not having like a third party hosting everything, because Substack could go away tomorrow and I'd have no control over that. I could lose all of my content. I could lose, connection with you guys and your information. Like, it's not truly 100% mine. I don't really have a say over it. The website has been coming along. It's it's taken some trial and error. I am on my third go round of building it from scratch, which they say third time's a charm. But it's been just a lot of trial and error figuring out how to do it. And also the people on YouTube and Reddit made it seem a lot easier to move a website that you build on localhost to the internet server and to host it on something. And it's not that easy. And so that's why I'm starting for the third time, but I finally figured it out. And in my head, it's 90% done, even though it's only like 10% done. But that's because I have 90% done on my local host website. And so I just need to like copy everything over. I know what I'm doing now. I have a direction and I feel really good about it. So yeah, Babblings is going to be leaving Substack. I'm going to keep my Substack account because I don't really want anybody to take Babblings. Like the name of it all. But the last post on Substack will be on November 28th. That'll be my last Substack post. And then on December 1st, babblings.net is going to go live to everyone, and the blog and the podcast will be continued. Babblings isn't going anywhere, but it's going to be all my own thing, and I'm actually really excited about it. I really love the design. I love coming up with everything. It's just, I can do so much more. Substack is such like a box for me. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but as far as like where my brain goes, like design wise and creativity wise, like Substack just doesn't do it for me, and I want full control. So starting December 1st, babblings.net is where you'll be able to find all of the Babblings content. The podcast will still be on all the podcast platforms and on YouTube, but then also babblings.net, that's also where the blog is going to be. Also on the blog, I'm going to have games. I'm working on my chat room plugin where there's going to be member accounts, and I'm building it so that eventually it can be built up to have like paid memberships and like exclusive access and things like that. But it's going to stay, everything free for now. Anything that I put out now is going to always be free. If I ever do like a paid membership, it'll be like extras and bonuses and like early access kind of stuff. Because I don't want to put a lot of my content behind a paywall. I just really don't. If you are a current subscriber, you're not going to have to do anything. I'm going to be transferring everybody into my other system so that it is seamless, and you will still get email notifications. You can still go to comment, all of that kind of stuff. And also, if you are a current subscriber and when I switch you over, you will be a founding member, which I haven't figured all of the perks out yet, but you're going to have like some special things for being a founding Babblings member, which is exciting. And anybody that subscribes to my Substack before December 1st will get to be a founding member and automatically transferred over to babblings.net, which very exciting. I'm thinking like special badges, special access, maybe early access. We'll see. But you will for sure get early access to the website. So if you're a current subscriber and you're technically a founding member, you will get early access to the website starting on November 28th, which is really exciting. And you guys can kind of give me your feedback before it goes totally live. I had been kind of just like slowly putting the website together and not feeling like I needed to do it fast. I wasn't really in a rush to like put it out. I had kind of in my head had a goal of wanting to have 100 subscribers on Substack before I moved over to the website, which I do think we can do by the end of November. We just need 17 more people to subscribe and we'll be at 100. But I was digging into my analytics a couple weeks ago on Substack, and I realized all of my traffic is not coming from Substack. Like, well, I'm getting some traffic from like the app Substack or the social network Substack, right? But looking at it, at least 50% of all of my views and engagement and traffic is coming from external links. So that means that people are coming to Babblings by going to babblings.substack.com, not finding me through the Substack app. Which means all of the traffic and engagement and growth that I've made in the last 3 months is a direct result of me marketing it. And I mostly just market it on TikTok. And I can also tell, I'll have like lulls in like views and stuff or website visitors when I'm not marketing it versus when I am. Like I can see the direct correlation, and digging into my analytics like that made me realize like I don't need Substack. And I also think it's going to be so much cooler. I feel like Substack's already getting so saturated, and I feel like it's a big marketing move for me as well to be like, it's not Substack, it's babblings.net. Like, this is my blog. This is my thing. Like, we're going back old school websites. If that's not something you're interested in, if you are someone that only interacts with me like through the Substack app, I get it. And if you want to unsubscribe, that would make me really sad. But I don't want to force anybody to do anything they don't want to do. But I will say, give it a try. Give it December when things are up and running and see how you like it. See how you like going to the website. Also, just like with Substack, everything is going to come to you in the form of email as well. Posts will come via email as well. And so that's where like a lot of my views come from direct, or they come from my email list. So that's not Substack, that's like me, and I can make an email list on like anything, realizing that Babblings is growing because of me and I'm not beholden or reliant to this like third party made me feel really empowered to get the website done so that I can just start, and that I don't need to like wait to hit a certain number on Substack, and that I can just like build my own thing. So yes, Babblings last month on Substack is November, starting November 28th. All of my current members, and which will be website founding members, you guys will get early access to the website, and it's going to go live on December 1st. If Babblings is something you fuck with, like, I would love if you share it. I would love if you just like put it out there. I'm very excited about building the website. I think you guys are going to like love it. It's like old school MySpace, Tumblr vibes. We're going to have a music player, games, chat room. It's something new all in its own. And I keep kind of saying like, I don't know exactly what I'm building, but I feel like I'm building something different. And I don't even think just what it's going to be in December is like going to be what it's going to be forever. Obviously, we continue evolving. So also Babblings is getting a little bit of rebranding, just changing like fonts and stuff so that it's all streamlined and easier for me on the website. But anyways, yeah, that's what I'm working on right now, finishing the website, transferring all of the content that I have, not transferring, but copying all of the content that's on Substack and copying it to the new blog, and then also putting it on a hard drive to just have everything backed up itself, and then just like testing out features and figuring out all the membership stuff. That's kind of the biggest part. The design is pretty much like done. I just need to like put things into place. But right now I'm just working on a lot of like the back end stuff, like what memberships will be like, what being a subscriber like login page looks like, and what all entails with that, and like figuring out the newsletter and stuff like that. So, oh, and then also figuring out how I'm transferring my RSS feed, because once I move from Substack, the podcast is also going to move hosting wise. I don't know if this interests anybody. But right now it's hosted through Substack, and I need to transfer the RSS feed so that I can host it all through my website, and then I'm hosting it. But last time I transferred my RSS feed, I fucked it up. So I'm going to be very diligent to not do that again. We're almost at 900 downloads for the podcast. I was like diligently waiting for it to be 888. Like I was refreshing because I wanted to screenshot 888 downloads. And I woke up this morning and it's now 895. So I missed it. But that's okay, because that means we're close to 900 downloads, which makes me very, very happy. Yeah, so that's what's going on with Babblings. I'm super excited. Don't be nervous about me leaving Substack. I think it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be really exciting. Give me a chance. To all of my Substack heads, give me a chance to show you the new way before you leave me. And yeah, I've got something planned for every Friday for this month. My last post, Goodbye Substack, will be coming on the 28th. The main podcast this month is about aging. So why is everybody so afraid to get old? Get ready for that. I think that's coming out on the 21st. And then next week's Friday post is going to be a journal excerpt, which I think is going to be fun and something that I hope you can relate to. So God bless. Oh, let's do a tarot card reading very quickly. I already shuffled and meditated with these cards. So let's very quickly see what you guys need to hear. We got, can you see her? The 9 of Pentacles. Let me just look at this for a minute. I feel that there is a group of us, whoever this is for, who's a part of this collective, that is moving into real abundance, coming out of some restricted energy, coming out of some isolation. Yeah, this is really confirmation that like there is like some like abundance coming in. And you may have be coming out of a time where you felt really restricted, or that you had to kind of like pause and really think before you moved forward. But that is what you were supposed to do, and it was positive for you. And now that you've done that and you've got a good head on your shoulders and you have a clear vision, you can charge after what you've been working towards. And there will be, you see how she's picking grapes? There is a reward for the work that you've done. There is reward for going after your dreams and what makes you happy. There will be a harvest for you, and there will be abundance and stability and self-assuredness is on the other side. So if you've not been feeling sure-footed, keep going. And on the other side is feeling really grounded and stable and being able to receive abundance from like a really like healthy and grounded place. Somebody's going to be reaping some rewards. God bless. I hope it's me. But somebody's going to be reaping rewards of, because I don't think I said what the clarifying cards were. Can I pick these up? The clarifying cards were the Knight of Swords, the Page of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords. So there's been a lot of thought. There's a lot of mental activity and having to maybe get real with yourself and some clarity, and either a self-imposed restricted or something happened that shut down whatever you were doing and was like, no, you need to pause, you need to wait, you need to reserve your energy and get your mind right. And I feel that you have, and so now you can go in and charge towards whatever charge towards this 9 of Pentacles energy. as the Knight of Swords, but with a strong Queen of Swords head on your shoulder and with purpose. And not go ever whatever you're trying to go after recklessly. And you needed to do that in order to receive this in its full essence. Yeah. All right. Well, good. I hope that's for me. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening to Babblings. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really, 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 really hope you join me in December at babblings.net. And yeah, get excited because once this is my own shit and I have like all the customization available to me, like Babblings is gonna get even cooler. So yeah. Mwah. Bye.